Let's dive straight into this explainer and explore a highly unusual yet completely natural secret for multiplying your favorite rose bushes at an absolute fraction of the cost. Now, pouring soda on a plant sounds completely absurd, right? No way that works. But this bizarre combination actually builds into a surprisingly logical and incredibly effective gardening hack. If you've ever wanted to multiply your roses so they grow healthily and bloom brilliantly all year round without shelling out for expensive rooting hormones or setting up complex greenhouses, well, you are definitely in the right place. We're going to look at how a couple of everyday kitchen staples can be combined to literally accelerate root growth overnight. All right, first things first, we have to prep our physical cutting. Choosing the right foundation is absolutely everything here. You want to select a healthy, medium-length rose stem that has 2 to 3 clearly defined leaf buds on it. Then, you'll gently pull off all the lower leaves, leaving just the top 1 or 2. Why? Well, we follow these exact steps to ensure the plant focuses all of its energy on forming new roots, rather than trying to keep a whole bunch of extra leaves alive. Finally, down at the base, you make a neat 45-degree angle cut. It seems like a minor detail, but it drastically increases the surface area, which helps the cutting absorb moisture and nutrients so much faster. Here's where things get really fascinating. Our first bizarre ingredient applied to that fresh cut is a sliced clove of garlic. You just peel a clove, cut it right in half, and gently rub the inside of it directly onto that 45-degree angle you just sliced. And this perfectly illustrates the science behind the madness. You aren't just seasoning the plant for the fun of it, you're giving it a highly effective natural antibacterial shield. The compounds in that garlic protect the cutting's open wound. It keeps it healthy, wards off fungal diseases, and actively helps awaken those new roots. It's really just a brilliant, completely natural defense mechanism. Next up, we need to brew 2 distinct liquid mixtures. Over on one side, we have our Coca-Cola soaking potion. This takes 200 milliliters of clean, filtered water to act as our base, mixed with 50 milliliters of Coca-Cola, plus that exact same garlic clove we just used, chopped up and tossed right in. Then, on the other side, we prep a separate rice water nutrient base. For this one, just pour 250 milliliters of clean water into a glass, add 3 tablespoons of rice, give it a good stir, and let it soak for about 15 to 20 minutes so all those nutrients completely dissolve into a nice, smooth solution. So what's the actual biological point of using these specific household items? Well, the Coca-Cola is absolutely not a gimmick. The sugar and mild acid in the soda actually work to soften the tough plant tissue of the rose stem, and that's what allows the cuttings to root so much quicker. Meanwhile, that rice water, it acts like a super powerful natural fertilizer. It is loaded with vitamins and minerals, giving the plant the exact natural nutrients it needs to kickstart healthy root growth. Once your potions are fully brewed, you're going to let your freshly cut and garlic-robbed branch take a quick 20 to 30-minute bath, strictly in the Coca-Cola and chopped garlic mix. This specific soaking period is crucial. It allows the branch to absorb plenty of those protective antibacterial compounds from the garlic, along with the tissue-softening acids from the soda, prepping it perfectly for the next step. While that's soaking away, it's time to build our DIY hydroponic incubator. And don't worry, you just need a really clever, accessible list of everyday household items. A clear glass cup to hold the nutrient medium, a standard kitchen sponge trimmed down to fit the mouth of the cup, which will be our anchor, plus a standard chopstick, and a transparent plastic cup that's been pre-punched with a few little air vents. All right, let's put the whole shebang together. First, you absolutely must filter out all the rice and garlic chunks from both of your solutions. We only want the clear liquid so the branch can absorb the nutrients easily. Go ahead and combine both of those filtered solutions evenly right into the clear glass cup. Next, use your chopstick to poke a small hole in the sponge and gently wedge the cutting right into it. You want the leaf buds staying up above the sponge while the stem sits submerged about 3 to 5 centimeters down into the liquid. That depth is completely critical. It's just enough for the young roots to easily drink up the water nutrients without getting waterlogged and rotting. To finish up the setup, secure the sponge directly into the mouth of the glass, making sure the cutting is standing nice and stable. Then, you pop that pre-vented transparent plastic cup upside down right over the top. This creates an amazing mini greenhouse effect. If you place this incubator in a cool spot away from direct sunlight, you're creating a perfect, isolated microclimate. That upside-down cup locks in high humidity and controls the environment immediately around the cutting. Honestly, it's exactly what a struggling rootless plant needs to survive those critical early days. Now for the payoff. After a few days of patient care and checking in, you'll start to see these lush, green, soft leaf buds popping up. I absolutely love how our source material describes this moment. They call them small but resilient rays of hope rising from the cuttings. And it's true. It is incredibly rewarding to watch a piece of a plant that you literally performed surgery on just completely bounce back to life. And because we specifically used a clear glass cup and a filtered solution, you get to actually watch the magic happen underwater too. You'll see this slender, super energetic root system actively taking shape. These delicate, young white roots reach straight down into the solution, acting like tiny connecting threads between the cutting and its new source of life. They're just down there absorbing every single drop of water and nutrient, growing stronger day by day. Once you've got a stably developed root system, it's time to wrap things up. You want to super carefully free the plant by peeling away the sponge. Take your time here. You really don't want to damage those vital young white roots. Then just transfer the cutting into a larger pot filled with soil. This gives the plant way more room to stretch its roots and lets the stem and shoots develop properly. Finally, gradually adapt your new plant to the natural outdoor environment to build up its resistance, and then it's ready for the garden and its brilliant flowering season. It's just such a beautifully simple, highly accessible hydroponic process, turning literal kitchen scraps into a thriving rose bush, which really leaves us wondering, if the sugar and acid in Coca-Cola, the antibacterial magic of a garlic clove, and the rich vitamins in rice water can do all of this, what other hidden biological superpowers might be sitting right inside your pantry, just waiting to turn your garden into a floral paradise? Think about that the next time you're cooking dinner or pouring yourself a drink.